We all strive for development and growth, but too often our attempts are hampered by people who are supposed to love and support us, whether it is parents who are critical and demanding, or caretakers who are distant and uncaring. These external issues can rob us of the love and affection we need to thrive. To cope with these issues, we often create an idealized version of ourselves that promises us the satisfaction and fulfillment that we are lacking in life. This image of perfection is accompanied by a set of rigid rules or shoulds that we must follow in order to become closer to our ideal.
This is no democracy. It is a dictatorship. I am the law. If you survive camp, you will be on the team. If you survive.
However, these shoulds are not only unrealistic and unattainable, but also take us further away from our true selves. In this video, we will explore how shoulds can distort our memories, reality, and mental state. We will see how we can tell if we are being driven by these shoulds or by genuine interest, and how shoulds create a false sense of achievement and lead to anxiety and fear. By recognizing the coercive power of these shoulds, we can take back control of our lives and reach our full potential.
And here we go.
First is how these shoulds distort their childhood. Whether a person experienced good or bad times as a child is not important as how they actually currently feel about it. For example, if someone has a should to be kind and gentle, they may remember their childhood as sweet, even if it was not actually as pleasant. On the other hand, if someone is determined to repress their feelings, they may falsely believe that they feel love and appreciation for their parents because they should love them, despite their true feelings. Furthermore, if someone is unwilling to take responsibility for their life, they may blame their parents for any difficulties they are facing. These scenarios are very common. The person who has taken on the tremendous responsibility of their life may appear triumphant, but beneath the surface lacks a sinister burden, a should that forces them to deny the very real consequences of their childhood trauma. They may feel like they should have been able to rise above it, like a soldier emerging unscathed from a battle. They may say that their parents did what they could, so they're realistic up to a point. But if they are truly responsible for their lives, they would admit that early trauma could not fail to negatively mold them, and that the past still disturbs their present. It is only by facing these issues and working to move past them that they can truly take control of their life and reach their full potential. Instead of simply accepting this and striving to make a change, they remain at the superficial level, refusing to acknowledge the impact of their past.
The more you ignore it, the cooler you look.
So if you have loved what is in this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel so that this information can reach a bigger audience. The more likes and subscriptions, the more people can be touched with this information. When the neurotic realizes that they failed in the past, instead of examining why they failed and learn from it, and maybe realizing that that was the best that they could have done in that situation, to them, simply accepting that that was the best they could have done in the situation is unacceptable. For the neurotic, no amount of effort will ever be deemed sufficient. For the present, the neurotic cannot bear any shortcomings because they should be perfect. Whatever the difficulty, it must be removed quickly. The plan to remove it varies. One woman found in herself a large drive for power, so what did she do? She ordered herself that she should not be power-ridden, so she was not.
I'm captain of this boat. Now shut the fuck up!
Others may try to use their willpower to suppress the issues that they are aware of, but in reality, all this does is mask the problem. Take, for example, two girls who are determined to never be afraid of anything. One was afraid of burglars and forced herself to sleep in an empty house until the fear was gone. Another was so scared to swim because she thought a snake or fish would bite her, and she forced herself to swim across a shark-infested bay. While they may have conquered their fears, they merely address the symptoms. The underlying anxieties still remain unaddressed. This is why self-help is not a suitable solution for many people. We can see that some people try to use their willpower to get over their issues. They try to be more assertive or lenient or try to mix with people. This would be fine if they were equally interested in the source of their issues, but seeing their issues in detail would go against their quick need to make the disturbance disappear and go back to being perfect. Also, the process of carefully disentangling of their issues would be admitting weakness and defeat. Therefore, we must not be fooled into thinking that we can simply sweep our troubles away. If we do not confront the source of our issues, we will suffer for it. Conscious efforts hardly succeed against a depression, a deeply ingrained hate to work, or consuming daydreams. Since the person should be perfect and should be able to master it, the person suffers more under depressions or any bad thing, because in addition to the depression being painful, it is also a sign of the person's lack of invincibility.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Addiction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
So many people, on finding out their issues, may be despondent, show fear, or be irritated. But it is less about finding the issues, but more about them feeling vulnerable to remove the issue right away that makes them feel this pain. These inner shoulds do not aim at real change, but at immediate and absolute perfection. They aim at making the imperfection disappear, or at making it appear as if the particular perfection was attained. Then what a person actually is, or even what he suffers, becomes irrelevant. Only what is visible to others creates intense worries, a shaking of the hand, a blush, and awkwardness in social situations.
Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover!
It's time to recognize the difference between the shoulds and genuine moral standards. The shoulds are not about striving for greater degrees of honesty or any other moral values, but rather about achieving a behavioristic perfection. The shoulds are not trying to do any improving, but rather you must be the absolute immediately.
But I want it now!
Shoulds are like living under a tyrant, demanding your unquestioning obedience and meting out harsh punishment for even the slightest disobedience. The consequences for falling short of these expectations can be devastating. Anxiety, despair, and even damaging self-destructive impulses can arise. To make matters worse, the reaction may appear out of proportion to an outsider, but it is very real to the person experiencing it. Ideal standards in comparison allow us the freedom to make our own choices and judgments, granting us a sense of control. Shoulds are a heavy burden to bear.
Why must life be so hard? Why must I fail in every attempt at masonry?
Reactions of anxiety are easy to overlook because our unconscious defenses act quickly to protect us. For example, a man who felt that he should be a saint-like friend went on a heavy drinking spree after realizing that he had been harsh to a friend. Similarly, a woman who felt that she should always be pleasant and likable felt a brief anxiety after being slightly criticized by a friend. In order to cope with the anxiety, she had an increased need for affection. Lastly, another man who was struggling with unfulfilled shoulds resorted to sex as a means to feel wanted and to reestablish his self-respect. These reactions of anxiety are very common yet go unnoticed. The coercive power of shoulds can have a major impact on our lives. We may be able to function well as long as we live according to our inner dictates. But the struggle between two conflicting shoulds can result in anxiety and distress. Take, for example, the man who should be the ideal physician and give all his time to his patients, yet also the ideal husband and give his wife the attention she needs. When he realizes that he can't do both, he experiences anxiety.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
The neurotic's longing to be perfect is inescapable, and they will do anything to satisfy it. They will go to great lengths to enhance their glory, falsely believing that they can become godlike. To break the cycle of neurotic perfectionism, one must acknowledge the difference between the moral perfection that is sought and the arrogance that is displayed by shoulds. If a person wishes to achieve any degree of betterment, they must come to terms with this distinction. In the next video, we will see how the shoulds affect the people around the neurotic and the great price paid by the person experiencing this tyranny.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And also check out my other videos. Have a good day.